I'm Alfred Bundy. Welcome to this special edition of Meet the Leaders. We're here in Atlantic City at the 103rd convention of the New Jersey League of Municipalities. Joining me now is the mayor of Metuchen, old colleague of mine, Jonathan Busch. Tell us about your charming town.
Oh, it's great. I mean, how you doing, Al? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
The town's doing great. We have, obviously so many charming neighborhoods. The community is, Metuchen's community in general is something that's so unique and so special. It really separates us from other towns, and the key for us is just to help keep Metuchen acting like Metuchen and keeping it a community where people want to come back to. People who grew up there often end up staying, and there's a reason for that.
It's very quiet. In many ways, very quaint, but yet so charming. Not just year-round, but during the holiday, it really is some special place to be at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's one of the most complicated pieces we have facing the community is that Metuchen is so. Is a certain way in people's minds, and we have to try to keep Metuchen the same. But as much as we keep Metuchen the same, we also have to change with the times. We have a mall within 2 miles of the center of town.
Oh yeah, you're very close to shopping.
That's
and
right.
all of that.
That's right.
That's a good thing.
And so it's a good thing, but also our downtown, which is such a huge part of our community, has to stay thriving.
That's right. That's right. They need to stay alive and well.
That's right. And so, I think one of the struggles for the borough over the years has been how do we keep our downtown thriving while, such close proximity. You got Route 1 and Route 27 and the Menlo Park Mall. And so we've established over the last couple of years a special improvement district for our downtown, the Metuchen Downtown Alliance, whose entire focus is to create as much foot traffic for our downtown businesses as possible. And they've been, in the last 2 years, tremendously successful at that task.
Now, you also have a kind of historic landmark there. You have a theater that you're doing some restoration with. Talk to me about the theater, the name of the theater.
Absolutely. So the Forum Theater was built in 1928. It's an old vaudeville theater, and it's, as part of Metuchen lore, it goes back in everybody's memories as something special. You'll talk to people and they say, their favorite memories are, having popcorn thrown in their heads by their friends on the balcony, or their first date, was at the Forum Theater. I talked to one woman in my office during my office hours a couple of months ago, a senior citizen, who said to me that she saw House of Wax there when she was growing up and hasn't slept since.
Wow.
So the stories of people's involvement at the Forum Theater are, it's really special.
Now, is it performing arts? Is it film? What does it?
So it's a perform. It's basically it's a theater that has the capability of showing movies and shows, and it's owned by a long-standing family in town. But what we decided to do a couple months ago, we were concerned that there was the possibility of the theater at some point becoming apartments, or a pharmacy, or we heard a supermarket. And that's just not acceptable to us as leaders in the borough.
Is it a place that children can go for a performance?
Well, it has been for years. Again, there's been various pieces of this that have, that they've done good work over the years, but we want to make sure that this thing doesn't get sold off.
Absolutely.
And so to do that, we needed a substantial amount of money that the borough didn't have. So we've gone to the county of Middlesex, and we've partnered up with the freeholders, who granted us $3.5 million in an arts grant, so that we will be able to completely renovate, to make the theater look like it did in 1928, and restore the Forum Theater to what it originally was. So it looks just like it did when that woman who spoke to me saw House of Wax.
How many seats are in the theater?
It's approximately 450.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're really in the beginning phases of this. So we got the grant. That was announced in early October that the grant was received. People in the community are very excited. And then the idea would be for us to take that grant, those grant monies, and after we acquire the theater, and we have to negotiate with the owner for the purchase of the theater. We're in the process of doing that. We just got appraisers that are in the process of putting their reports together. Once we get the value, we'll make an offer, and then we'll hire an architect who's good at, especially at these things. We'll do we'll go as far as we need to find the right architect who's experienced with these types of theaters and historical preservation and renovations.
Now,
and then we'll do the job.
What's the timeline on this project?
So it's hard to know. We've got to acquire the theater first. Once we do that, the idea is to reconstruct the theater, renovate the theater, and then there's an abandoned gas station next door, which we also hope to acquire on the corner of Amboy and Main Street, which has been abandoned since 2016. The idea was to put something there. In the 1940s, there was a gas station area space called the Spot. That's what it was, the Spot exclamation point. That sign was on the wall of the service station. And we want to build the Spot, which would be a food hall, a space for people to do maybe some smaller versions of performing arts. A place for someone with guitar to play.
You can
for
do
kids.
an outdoor.
Absolutely, and it's not a huge space, but it's something where we can again have some open space. And with the county's grant, we're going to be able to do that. Restore the theater, build out something that looks like it belongs there next to the theater that can be as part of what we're going to call the Metuchen Arts District. So that whole corner, and hopefully it spurs some interest in that general area, helps the residents, and it's a place for people to have entertainment in town.
Sounds great, the
Absolutely.
Performing Arts District.
The district of Metuchen,
Right.
yes.
Listen, look like you're doing great things. Look
Thanks.
like you're doing
Yeah,
good
good to
work,
see
and we're out of time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Okay,
right.
take care.
We're here in Atlantic City at the League of Municipality Convention.